Hi everyone, welcome back. So today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I want to talk about Digimon Story Time Strangers, the game that people are calling one of the best Digimon games ever. I actually agree with this. I think it's a really, really good game. And comparing it to how fans are going to respond to a brand new Pokemon ZA. Spoiler: the difference in reception is pretty wild at the minute, and I've got a controversial opinion too, but we'll get to that later. So, Time Strangers. The community is loving it. I've been going over Reddit. I've been looking over Reddit as well. Many fans say the story is engaging, especially the Digimon veterans. I too think their story is actually pretty on point. The character, Digimon relationships, plot twists, and then boss fights. Let's be real, they're really, really good. They're absolutely good. The actual cutscenes in the fights, the fight mechanics, the combat mechanics get a lot of praise. I praise them. I mean, swapping party members in mid-battle, that's a big thing. Challenging bosses and a sense of strategy as well with the elemental differences and the virus and the data and all that sort of stuff as well. Visually and the fan service are absolutely a massive positive in the game. The environments, the art style, the things like riding your partner Digimon or just seeing your Digimon do their things, following you about. This gives you a kickback of nostalgia with a modern polish, and it's really, really, really well done. Not everything is perfect in the game though. Some of the UI and the menus are still kind of clunky. Things, sorting stuff, kind of weak. Digivolution menus are sometimes can be a bit awkward. Inventory management tend to get tedious, right? So the pacing of the game, if you buy the DLC, especially after the early excitement, some dungeons and missions feel repetitive, like the side missions on the dungeons. Some of them do kind of feel a bit repetitive. They do look similar and it's kind of the same. The auto heal and fast forward features are absolutely amazing, but it does make things feel a slightly too easy if you are extremely overpowered. So there was some technical issues at the start of the game, especially on consoles, with frame rate caps and sometimes some stutters, but they have been sorted out with this latest patch. They have sorted a lot of that out. So overall, Time Strangers gets high marks for its Digimon fans. Um, the great visuals, the solid combat, and nostalgia touches. It's got a bit of rough edges, but the polish and the quality of life changes make this game absolutely like the best Digimon game out there in a minute by far. Now we're going to turn to Pokemon Legends ZA. The reaction from fans over on Reddit, what I've been looking at, have been hit and miss. So visual and technical concerns, despite being on newer hardware, the Switch 2, many feel like Pokemon ZA doesn't look good. It actually looks dated. The improvements over the past visuals don't seem to be what people want. They don't look great. I'm gonna be real. Also the absence of any voice acting is still a sore point. Digimon had a lot of voice acting in this game. Pokemon doesn't, and it's probably got a bigger budget as well to make the game. Fans miss the storytelling power on Reddit over there. They saying they're missing the storytelling power, and instead of reading the text, they would like the actual, animation, the voice animation and stuff like that as well. It hits harder, right? Especially in Digimon, it hit really well. ZA shift to a city setting similar to Digimon, which some I say are limiting. If you actually look at the city, it looks pretty bad as well. There's fewer natural biomes, less wilderness, less exploration than like games like Legends of Arceus, for example. Then there's the combat. ZA is going for a more real time sort of Xenoblade style, but like a simpler version, I suppose you call it. And then there's a big departure for the fans who grew up with the turn-based Pokemon battles like me on the Game Boy Color, right? This kind of feels alienating if you don't really like that sort of style either. Even though Pokemon ZA is expected to sell big because it's Nintendo, many players feel the franchise is stagnating. The direction feels cautious and sometimes even disappointing in terms of ambition. Also, the switch from natural landscapes to urban spaces questions what Pokemon ZA is actually trying to be and what is the identity of Pokemon now and beyond compared to what it used to be, right? Um, I think Digimon has smashed out the park this year, and I think Pokemon are really going to struggle. They're still going to sell because Pokemon, right? So let's put it side by side. Digimon Story Time Strangers is getting praise for its visual polish, dynamic environment, strong boss design, and satisfying Digimon interactions and Digimon, evolving, digivolving. Meanwhile, Pokemon ZA is being called out for being underwhelming, visually especially. Um, Compared to standards on Switch 2, which can do 4K, they should have bumped it up, right? The design decisions feel like it's being pulled back rather than pulled forward in terms of actual graphic fidelity and design. And the storytelling modes with no voice acting doesn't give it either anything better either, right? It definitely doesn't give it the edge over Digimon. That's a sure bet. So many fans on Reddit that I've been looking at, Time Strangers is looking sharper, more nostalgic, and also more modern in its own right. A gap in perceived quality is becoming a talking point. Digimon may have fewer resources and less brand hype than Pokemon, but the community reviews suggest it might be delivering more in places people care about. So here's where I land. My controversial take is I believe one reason Digimon Story Time Strangers didn't come release to the Switch 2, at least not at the minute, because it got released 2 weeks before the new Pokemon, is that it would eat into Pokemon sales. Think about it. The difference in quality compared to the two games, the visuals, the polish and nostalgia, modern gameplay, it's becoming so noticeable that if Digimon were on the same hardware, it could directly like hit Pokemon hard, right? That's my controversial take anyway. If fans can already say Digimon looks better than Pokemon ZA in these areas, putting both on equal footing, same console power, could hurt Pokemon's image. So maybe, just maybe, there's a strategic reason Pokemon didn't push harder or didn't invest enough to make more ambitious things in ZA. So where does this leave us? Digimon Story Time Strangers is not flawless, but people are loving it, especially the especially the Digimon fans. Pokemon Legends ZA, by contrast, is seen by many as a disappointment in certain areas, visuals, combat design, settings, and choice. If you're into a monster taming RPG, classic turn-based, or even modern Time Strangers, it's definitely worth a serious look. Pokemon ZA may still have its audience because it's Pokemon, but the critics, on Reddit and some of the early previews I've seen on YouTube are saying it needs more polish, needs more ambition, needs more risk, the Pokemon game, right? So what do you think? Are you a team Digimon this round, or do you think Pokemon ZA will still surprise us and fix all the complaints? Yeah, right. Um, Maybe, you never know, even though they had the budget for it, that's a sure bet. Drop your thoughts below. I'd love to hear what you have to say. If you like the comparison, hit the like and subscribe button. More game breakdowns, game videos, guides, all that sort of good stuff. And I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace.